What's going on, guys? Sorry for the issues we were having on YouTube. YouTube would not allow us to go live, but here we are for round, what is it, round four now? Like, how many rounds did we actually try? But let's make sure that we're connected on Facebook before we. Yeah, let's look and make sure that we are actually live on Facebook. Yes, we are. And not sure if anybody has joined us or who's going to be joining us, but let's get started anyway. Hi, everybody. This is the Moonwalkers Chat Podcast live with just Mr. P and Dove Angel D. As I said before, that rhymes, so you got to appreciate that and the time that we put into this podcast. Yes, this is episode 2. But yes, well, at least now it feels like a Home Alone moment because we get to hear from Macaulay Culkin again and hear him defend himself for what, the 3,000th time?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's like, how many interviews has this man done over the years while Michael was still walking around freely and now that he's not around anymore? Why is he still having to defend himself against anyone regarding MJ not doing anything to him? It's just really stupid that they're really still, all of these years later, no matter how many times Macaulay Culkin has said it, they still seem to push for that one thing. Oh, well, what about Michael Jackson? No matter what interview they do with this man, it could be about his podcast, which is the Bunny Ears podcast thing that he does, which is funny. But yeah, Malia, remember last night we was talking about the Macaulay Culkin Esquire interview that he did this month?
Yeah.
And that was a real interesting interview. Like, if you've seen what it said within that interview, let me put something up. Let me put it up for you guys. Well, this is the cover for Esquire for the month of February. And Macaulay Culkin is the face of it. And in this interview, he discusses pretty much everything from day-to-day life, him trying to become a father, you know, his life with his former girlfriend and his current girlfriend, his current podcast, the Bunny Ears Podcast, which is very funny. I listen to it. And, you know, they pretty much just give an all-around description of how he looks and how he presented himself during the interview. But of course, what came up during the interview is none other than MJ, because they can't resist it anytime anyone interviews him. They can't resist asking him about Michael Jackson. And of course, this interview here, it says a month before Hughes died. He's referring to John Hughes, which was the movie director. Now, in 2009, it says Michael Jackson died, being given an overdose of medication. If Hughes sometimes played the father Mac's father couldn't be, Jackson was often the schoolmate he never had. Jackson got in touch with Mac after Home Alone, and suddenly they were hanging out. His parents neither encouraged, nor discouraged it. The way Max sees it, Michael had a similar childhood. And if you see that, like, he's saying nothing out of the ordinary, but of course, it gets to this part. Let me skip ahead, guys, so you can see what I'm talking about. But Dove, you could do some talking. You all quiet over there.
I'm trying to still land after all that we've been through. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, but the Macaulay Culkin thing is just too much. I mean, the poor guy has been, you know, over and over again. He's been saying the same thing, and it just don't stop. It just doesn't stop. I mean, how many times does he have to explain that Michael Jackson did not do anything wrong? He didn't do anything weird to little kids. He was there like all the time, not like these other two clowns that claimed that, you know, they were there all the time when they were, and when they were, Michael wasn't there.
Oh, you're referring to Wadey and Chucky, as people seem to call them on Twitter.
Yeah.
Wadey and Chucky.
Mhm.
Oh man, those two jokers. But yeah,
Yeah.
like this one part of the interview really struck gold for me because this is a reference to the 2005 trial that MJ had to go through. And of course, you guys do know that Macaulay Culkin was a witness, not even a witness, what do you call it? Whatchamacallit? Jeez. Amali, you know the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm stuck. I'm like totally stuck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He was. Yeah, it was like a
It
witness.
was like a witness or a
To
character
testify
witness or
for him.
something to get information out of
Yeah.
him about Michael. But of course, during break from the trial, Macaulay Culkin, of course, went to use the bathroom. And he was about 24
Mhm.
at the time, and Michael was 46, as the article says. And when they had seen
Right.
each other, Michael had told him, we don't need to talk. I don't want to compromise. Let me go to it. I ain't even going to just say it, but Michael had told him straight up, we don't need to speak right now because I don't want to compromise anything regarding your testimony. This is part of the article
Right.
right here. Let me put it up. Here it is. Yeah, but there was a short recess at the time, and Michael had said to him, we better not talk. I don't want to influence your testimony. So it showed right then and there that Michael, in the long run, had nothing to hide because even though him and Macaulay Culkin were friends, he still told him we shouldn't be talking. He respected the sanctity of the law and was willing
Yeah.
to fight that. He was willing to fight that battle on his own without any help from his friends. If his friends decided to speak on his behalf, fine, but he wasn't going to influence them to do it.
Yeah, and it was so nice though that they kind of laughed about it. They could laugh about it, and they hugged it out. We still boys. I got your back. That's so sweet.
Yeah, like they were still able to work it out and still have the friendship that they built.
Yeah.
And little does everybody know, or
By
even
the
if you.
way, Macaulay Culkin. I don't know. Oh,
What?
sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I was gonna say that I don't know. Probably the people on here already know that Macaulay and Chris Tucker are like his ride or die friends. They were like the only ones that were there for him, like for real. This is back in 2005 during the trial because all his other quote unquote his friends, his VIP friends, or whoever could help him, just was like, no, I'm too busy or I'm doing my thing and this could hurt my career. So they didn't really care about Michael
At all. They definitely showed it too. They showed that they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that puzzles me is the way the media kept pushing for Macaulay Culkin to say that Michael Jackson did something to him, even though he's spoken the truth on numerous occasions, countless occasions, and said nothing has happened. You think Macaulay Culkin, even though Paris Jackson has nothing to do with it, but you think Macaulay Culkin would be the godfather to the person's child that he apparently was tormented by, if that was the case? Like, that doesn't make sense. The media doesn't remember
I
or
don't think
either
so.
takes into their brains that Macaulay Culkin is Paris Jackson's godfather. They had a true, real friendship. Even
Yeah.
though Macaulay Culkin was a kid, MJ still identified with him because MJ himself still had that feeling as a kid. It's like he was still reliving things that he missed out during his life because he was too busy entertaining us. They forget that.
Right.
They
And
definitely forget it.
I also saw. I don't know if you read this other article about the same time that Macaulay Culkin did, and he stated that he was not going to sell out. Well, his words were, "I'm not going to whore myself like others did. I have no price tag. I'm not going to sell in an interview." While he was dealing with his personal things, and maybe the media just figured, well, if this guy is not acting, he must need cash, and maybe he'll sell something like these other guys did just for money. Maybe that's, the whole story behind the media trying to get him to say things that aren't really true. But he didn't sell out because he's a true friend.
He definitely was, and he definitely still is. Even MSN UK tried to make it seem like Macaulay Culkin decided to spill his guts about something happening between him and MJ within this article. They put that out in their media that Macaulay Culkin was telling the truth about what happened between him and MJ as if it was something negative. They never even put any emphasis on what they actually meant. They just put that out there and said that he spoke up about the allegations. And I'm like, what allegations? Because in my book, there are no allegations between him and Macaulay Culkin because nothing's ever happened between them. So for them to keep drudging that up and saying that, it's totally foul.
Yeah. And there were also, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, I've read a bit about it, the rumors of him having this drug abuse thing or a problem with drug use or a little. And he himself said it. There were speculations that were kind of true. And in 2004, he got arrested for marijuana possession. But, I mean, that's just, that's something anybody could do. Just because he's Macaulay Culkin, it's a big thing. And the media started running with this whole rumor that he was, like, pushing $6 million worth or $6,000 worth of cocaine or heroin, and, just making it up just because he changed his image or, he had a little, I don't know if he had a drinking problem or not. I don't know how much of the rumors are true. Do you know anything about that?
I've never heard anything about that, so that's actually news to me.
Yeah.
You found out something that I actually didn't.
Well, I saw it in an article yesterday, and when I started a little bit, doing my homework for today. So he did admit that, in 2004 he got arrested, but it was never like, they've been doing with Michael Jackson, with Janet Jackson, with, just the whole the whole Jackson family. They just make things up just to make people look weird or wrong or whatever. And they just run with it.
And this is the one part of the article that I did want you to see. I don't know if I actually sent this part to you last night, but about the allegations that they're claiming, like, it was just horrible. But I'm glad that he did finally speak out again. And it's just like, how many times does this man have to actually do it?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I also saw that he himself suffered physical and emotional abuse as a child at the hands of his father.
He
did. I'm guessing, he would have, if something was going on at the Neverland Ranch, like the media has stated so many times, that it was like this creepy castle where he shut people, he would put little kids and, lure them to his wonderland or whatever and do crazy things with them. If Macaulay Culkin was there all the time and there was these horrible things going on, he would have noticed it, even if he wouldn't have witnessed it, but he would have noticed that there was something wrong with those kids because he would recognize it.
There's also something that they never considered. Also, like, they never considered the fact that, one, a lot of people wasn't going to sit there and watch any acts of that nature go on. Because a lot of the things that they were saying, especially as of recent that I've heard, somebody inboxed me something on Twitter which was total nonsense, which would be a public area of the ranch, which would be visible to eyes of anyone that worked there. The fact that they're saying that anything happened outside of the ranch as well was honestly beguiling to me. It doesn't make sense that people keep bringing up more and more lies against this man and his image. His legacy, they're trying to destroy it. But
It's
Macaulay,
not fair though, because it seems like it's never gonna stop.
it's never gonna stop. But Macaulay Culkin says, look, he says, I'm gonna begin with the line, it's not a line, it's the truth. He never did anything to me. I never saw him do anything, and especially at the flashpoint in time, I'd have no reason to hold anything back. The guy has passed on. If anything, I'm not going to say it would be stylish or anything like that, but right now is a good time to speak up. So if I had anything to say, I'd say it. So in other words, stop speaking for him and saying that something happened to him when nothing actually did. And this is something that the media has been doing for almost 30 years. Macaulay Culkin is 39 years old now. He's been in the industry maybe 32, 33 years. Because he's been acting since childhood. So imagine growing up, being a child, then becoming a young man, then becoming a teenager, and then a grown man, and you're constantly being harassed by the media saying that you were molested by someone. And then you have to keep defending yourself, not even defending Michael Jackson, but the fact that he's being attacked. And they're saying that this stuff happened to him when it never did. He's not even really just defending Michael Jackson. He's defending himself too, because in the long run, it's an attack on him too. It's not just Michael Jackson that's being attacked. They're also attacking him by making him a victim that he never actually was.
Right.
That was the one thing that really bothered the hell out of me, because I'm like, how long can this go on? Why is Macaulay Culkin still talking about this almost 30 years later? Why does he still have to talk about it 30 years later? He doesn't want no relevance to this. Even in this Esquire interview, he never says anything regarding fame, popularity, or anything. He's not even doing any major acting roles. The one that's still in the industry is his younger brother, Kieran, who just won an Emmy as of recently. So it's like, Macaulay Culkin's not focused on Hollywood life. He's living his life as a regular guy who happened to come from Hollywood. But he's not living like a Hollywood starlet. Like, he's living his life like a normal person. And he said that in this interview. He wants nothing but normalcy. He doesn't do the glitz, the glamour, and do all of this stuff that everyone else is into. He's a regular guy. That's why when people see him and they don't see him dressed up and they say he looks grungy or he looks dirty or something, he's just dressed regular. He's not dressed like the other celebrities, and they consider that dirty because he's a celebrity. He can't wear baggy or ripped jeans. He can't, like, it's so many different fashion styles that other celebrities wear, but it's only bad if he wears it. It just looks like, oh, he's this or he's that, and it's just like so negative against him.
Yeah, totally. It's just like they're just trying to destroy everything that has to do with MJ. Not directly, also directly, but also, things that are not directly connected to MJ. Anything MJ related, whether it's his family or his close friends or even his kids, they're just trying to, bag it all up and just try to get rid of it.
And that's exactly what they're trying to do.
I just don't see how they don't get that it's not going to work. They should know by now that there are too many people stepping forward, speaking up, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It definitely isn't.
Because it's already been proven. Because if it was going to work, if it would have worked, it would have been working from day one. Since they started the allegations, since they started bashing Michael Jackson, since they started dragging his name through the mud, not caring about his family, not caring about his mother who's old and dealing with her illness and everything else. It's just crazy.
And it just shows they don't care about any of that.
Nope.
And it being Black History Month, definitely got to make sure that we defend Michael Jackson's legacy, because he was a huge black icon. Not only that, he comes from one of the greatest families in the history of music. Him and his younger sister, Janet.
How do you call them?
How
do you call them?
What?
How do you call the family?
They're one of the greatest families in the history of music. Because they are.
No, but you call them royal family?
Oh,
Royalty,
they're music royalty, yes.
Yeah.
They're music royalty.
Yeah, they are.
And right now, Janet Jackson is about to be back on tour. That's a part of Black history. Janet Jackson is actually about to be back on tour for her Black Diamond tour. I can't wait.
And who's going?
I'm going. I cannot wait.
I'm so jealous.
Oh man, I'm going to the concert in July 14th, New York City. I cannot wait. Yup, I am going. I'm going. So I will finally get to see a Jackson, because I told you guys before, I've never actually gotten to see any of the Jacksons live in concert. So this will be a first-time experience, and I can't wait to experience it. To see Janet on stage and just to watch her and be close to Miss Jackson.
Get the Jackson vibe.
Yes, Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. I can't wait.
If you're nasty.
Yes, I cannot wait. Janet, so we will be seeing you once we make it there to Madison Square Garden. I cannot wait. But yep, this is a major part of what Janet is doing, being that her album is supposed to be coming out. It's also called The Black Diamond. I can't wait for that. So be on the lookout for Janet's new album. And also, those are tour dates of her national tour here in the U.S. for you guys who do want to try to get tickets to attend. So definitely try to go see Miss Jackson, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that may not happen again. Because you never know if Janet's going to want to tour after this final album. So, guys, if you can definitely make it to one of her tour dates, go. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I cannot wait to be there for this. But wait a minute. Now, this is a more on the serious side of we talked about yesterday, Amalia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday, we were talking about the whole Jehovah Witness thing and how MJ is tied to it and how he was raised in it, and just learned so much regarding what MJ experienced as a child growing up as a Jehovah Witness. One, he was never one to actually enjoy going there, because most kids never enjoy going to the Kingdom Hall. It was very strict on children. Not only that, if you guys haven't heard the history of the Jehovah Witness, of course, they're rumored, and I'm going to say this is rumored and alleged, but I have watched plenty of documentaries about this, and there's one coming to Sundance. But anyway, they're rumored to be very controlling in how they actually operate to its members. As you know, MJ's mother, Miss Catherine, she is a devout member of the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah Witnesses. And, of course, the main office of the Jehovah Witness is the Watchtower, which pretty much controls everything within that area. Every city that a Jehovah Witness Kingdom Hall is in, they have a Watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, the Watchtower is who you would have to answer to as a member of the Jehovah Witnesses in that city. Now, to move on, now you guys remember, of course, Thriller. I know you guys definitely remember Thriller, and, of course, the music video that is Thriller, the short film. Now, with that short film came controversy, and it wasn't about the music or really the lyrics, but it was about the theme of his music video. Now, him being a devout Jehovah's Witness still, that was back in 1982. He was still a devout member. He still attended church 4 times a week with Miss Catherine. And, of course, him being a member and making a video about what they would consider the occult, which is dealing with the undead, zombies, and things of that nature, they put pressure on Miss Catherine to actually have him change that. And MJ didn't want to change his music video. So, of course, you guys would remember at the beginning of that music video, he put up this message that had said, "Due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult. Michael Jackson." That was the message he had put because the church, the Kingdom Hall, had put pressure on Catherine to get him to change that whole entire music video, being that it was seen by multiple people throughout his family. And of course, they talked about it and they found out about it and requested to see it. And of course, being a member of that church, you can't deny them access to that. So it's like they kind of had a hand in how he handled things regarding his music and how he did his videos. This was one of the ways they tried to control his video, and he wasn't having it. So he put this message up at the very beginning of the video and put the video out anyway, which totally pissed them off. But however, they didn't push him away. He was still with them, like, what was it, up till 1987, I think?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 1987 is around the time that he decided... Huh?
They made him choose, like, do you want to continue with us, or if you're going to, keep doing your sexy dances and your sexy lyrics and, dancing with the living dead and everything, then you need to step out. So what are you going to do? And he was like, well, bye.
Pretty much. But of course, even though they wanted him to leave, they wasn't going to let him leave that easily. And they never let any of their members leave easily. To disassociate yourself with the Jehovah Witness Kingdom Hall, you would have to actually pen a full letter. This is crazy. You have to actually pen a full letter to the Jehovah Witness Kingdom Hall and actually ask them to release you. Like...
Yeah, to please let you go.
Yeah, please let me go, and explain as to why. And whoever your elder is in that chapter has to be the one to accept that letter to give to the Watchtower. It's crazy steps. And then even after you're... Yeah, it's really crazy. Even after you're disassociated from the Kingdom Hall and the Watchtower, no one is supposed to deal with you or talk with you, speak with you, look at you, anything. And if they are to look at you in public or see you anywhere, they're supposed to look at you in shame. They're not supposed to have any dealings with you, including your own family.
Like you're an outcast.
Yeah, you're pretty much outcasted after you leave them. And MJ had left them in 1987. There was never anything put out public that said he wrote this letter, but it does have something out here publicly that says he disassociated himself from them, which is something that they do prefer you do. And to disassociate yourself from them, you have to write that letter. Even though this letter has not come up or been seen publicly, we know that he had to have written it in order to have gotten away from them. He couldn't have continued on his career the way he did unless he actually left them alone, because they were always going to have some sort of interference. You think they wouldn't have had interference with the Bad album? Because 1987 was the same year that Bad was released.
Oh, they would totally have something to say about it. And certainly he was doing his, I'm sorry, I have to say this, his sexy dances in the tour, because Bad is like, wow. That era, I'm sorry, I have to get it out. That era is like, totally amazing.
Let it out.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I mean, that era he's hot.
But like around that time, they was
so they
not...
Would definitely...
Yeah, they was not playing with him. They definitely wanted him to shut that down immediately. They did not want him to put out that Thriller video, and I'm pretty sure that they would not have wanted him to put out that Bad album. So before they could have a hand in getting him shut down, he left. Even though they wanted him gone, he was going to leave anyway. So it's not like they did anything to cause him any harm by telling him to leave. They did him a favor.
Totally. He's better off without them. I don't mean any disrespect to Jehovah Witnesses or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's better off. Being the entertainer he is, he's better off.
But there's a funny story that happened with MJ when he was doing his work as a Jehovah Witness. Like, fans probably know this, and some fans probably don't. But of course, when he was doing his Jehovah Witness work with his mother, of course, you've all probably experienced it here in the U.S., where they come to your door on Saturday morning and you don't want to hear it. And of course, MJ doing his weekly work with his mother and several other Jehovah Witness in the Encino area. Oh, wait, no, it was Thousand Oaks. They were in Thousand Oaks, and they visited an apartment complex. And they were knocking on doors, of course, asking people to listen to them about what they were talking about regarding Jehovah. And of course, Michael rings one of the bells of an apartment. Yeah, he rang the bell of an apartment, and some young girl answers, and he said to her, "Hi, I'm here to talk to you about God's work." The young girl looked at him, stepped back, and didn't even give him a chance to finish his quote before she stepped back and slammed that door in his face.
Poor Michael.
She slammed that door right in his face.
She's gonna be like, "Oh my God, I did that to Michael Jackson."
She didn't even know that it was him because he was disguised. Like,
I know, but I mean, if she realizes this after, all these years,
she probably would now. I mean, he was wearing glasses, a fake mustache, a hat, a sweater, and some Watchtower pamphlets that he was carrying in his hand at the time. Because they printed those up, I believe, every week or bi-weekly or something. Because they're always giving them out in my neighborhood, so I see them all the time. And I know how it is. You don't want to deal with that Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, someone ringing your doorbell and telling you that they're here to talk to you about God's work, even though I have nothing against religion. But I mean, you're tired, and you're like, are these people kidding me? And then you slam the door. But I've done that as a child. I've closed the door in their faces, and I'm not trying to say anything negative, but I've been one to have done that when I was younger, because it's like you're tired and it's a Saturday morning after dealing with school all week, and someone wants to talk to you about the return of Jehovah, and you're tired, you're going to close that door. And
yeah,
MJ...
Well, I've done that being an adult. So.
See?
I'm sorry.
See?
I'm sorry. They just don't give up. And you're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Yeah, but, Jehovah, this.
But he's returning, and I'm like, wait a minute, come on now. I was like, we don't have to talk about this. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Can we talk about some cereal or something?
Right. Can we have coffee first?
I need coffee, some orange juice, maybe a bowl of cereal. You just woke me up immediately with, he's returning, and I'm like, oh man, you're scaring the hell out of me first thing in the morning, and I haven't had coffee. I haven't eaten yet. Oh, what are you doing to me? Like, oh man. But yeah, like, when he would do this whole Jehovah Witnesses walk with his mother on Saturdays, he would disguise himself, because not only did he want to be seen, but he didn't want to do it. In all actuality, he did it for his mother, because he really respected and loved her and everything that she represented. She was a devout Jehovah's Witness. She still is to this day. She still visits the Kingdom Hall every week. She's not able to go as much as she used to, from what I understand, due to her being a lot older, but she still goes to the Kingdom Hall. She's still a devout member. Yeah.
LaToya went with them as well a few times, I read.
She actually did go with them. LaToya was with them as well. That's what makes it even funnier.
I was laughing because she stated in the article that he was dressed up in a fat suit. And you know who I was thinking of, right?
I know exactly who you're talking about. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Look just like him. So, that fat suit, huh? Yeah. Interesting. Oh, but also, there has been a little update on that musical, if that's what they want to call it. And it's called For the Love of a Glove. We spoke about it last week in episode 1. And, of course, there's been a little update. I wasn't even aware that the estate may have potentially gotten their ears to the wall against the For the Love of the Glove musical, Like, they're aware of this play, so I'm wondering what steps are they actually going to take to, per se, end this crap that they're putting out.
Well, I don't know if they can end it, but I feel that if they have any ways of maybe shutting it down or get it canceled or whatever, you know, I'm betting that they're going to try and do it because since they subtitled it the unauthorized musical, they did cover their backs a little. But I mean, Tosh knows about it since Johnny Depp got involved and he didn't have anything to do with it. He even tweeted about it. So I'm guessing if Tosh knows, the family knows, and if the family knows, the estate knows, right?
Yep. But here's the tweet on the screen, guys, that Taj Jackson had posted to his Twitter. And it says, while the media is on the hot subject of apologies, maybe these same journalists can send one or two this way towards my family. It's been a year and we're still waiting. Oh, and while you're at it, send one to Johnny Depp, too. He's referring to all the horrifying stories that the media has put out about the Jackson family, Michael Jackson, and everything regarding Leaving Neverland, as well as involving Johnny Depp's name with that For the Love of a Glove play when he had absolutely nothing to do with it. That man had nothing to do with it, and they caused so much backlash against him for this musical, and his name had nothing to do with it.
No, at all. Not even his production company.
Nothing. As MJ said, nothing. Still
nothing.
Nothing. Like, seriously. But look at the artwork, though. Like, I just can't get over the artwork of this advertisement for it. One, they show the Thriller jacket. That's an iconic jacket. The glove is an iconic piece of Michael's, of course. And of course, you know the story with the glove, Thriller, and all of that stuff. But if this glove is supposed to be this happy-go-lucky glove as they're depicting it, they're trying to advertise it towards children, but yet the play is about abusing children. So what message are they really putting out behind this play? Because a child would see this jolly... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. The article says... and if you guys haven't watched it, I suggest you go back to our first podcast. Oh my God, I lost it. It said something about the glove, being the one that kind of made Michael the this big pop icon that he is, and it made him lure little boys and into his home and do weird stuff to them and feed off of their oh my God, I can't believe I have to say this again.
I know, right?
Young boys' blood, virgin blood. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's sickening.
A hero with hat and glow. You're right, Gabriel.
I agree. It's getting crazier and crazier, though, but it's like, wow, what the hell? It just baffles me that even though they're using the word unauthorized, it still shouldn't be used or be allowed, because there's no way in hell that all of the things that they're tying to Michael Jackson, the imagery that they're putting out, gives direct references to him, even though they're saying unauthorized. They shouldn't be allowed to use his images at all. Even if it's unauthorized. They shouldn't be able to use the Thriller jacket. They shouldn't be able to use none of that. None of it. Because this is pretty much tainting the image behind what these items represented especially during the 1980s for black culture and just musical culture, period.
Yeah, they disrespect so many things on so many levels. And it's even said in the article, and it's titled that, since it's this huge stage with lively colors and like a cartoonish way of doing things with the live puppets and everything, it's not child friendly at all.
But they try to present it like it's that.
Yeah. Can you even imagine if some of these people who actually go there, because it gets sold out every single night since they started, can you even imagine going with your little kid to see this play or musical or whatever? And it starts about, started in the dancing with the people from the Ku Klux Klan and joking around and, oh, I have to feed off of his blood so I can get magical powers to sing. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy. Like I had said last week, it was one thing if they was just doing, per se, a comedy show or something regarding MJ, but it went beyond being something comedic to just totally disrespectful. Because the idea of an alien glove coming out of space, to me, is funny. It's funny. But once they get to the explanation of what the glove actually does, is where it becomes disrespectful. And then once they start explaining his childhood and how he was raised, it's disrespectful. The way they describe the way they describe his musical career, the whole way through that play, is disrespectful on so many levels.
Yeah, and they disrespect, not only him, his whole family. They just threw them all in there.
And they involve everybody, including Berry Gordy's daughter, Hazel. They involve everybody. There's not a Jackson left out of that play. So if you guys, per se, Jacksons, need to get together and sue them, do it. It's more of you than it is of them production-wise. Because they're mentioning your names without permission. Not just Michael's name, but they're mentioning the rest of them as well. Catherine, Joe, Jermaine, everybody. Because the Jackson 5 is included in this story. Like, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's too much.
Makes me wonder, though, like, what besides damaging his legacy are they trying to do? Because what exactly are they getting? Oh, wait, money. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, right. Money is the only thing.
Yeah. But money. Anything.
I'm so hoping
anything.
Anything for money.
Ride for you.
I so hope that they do, get to do their shows until the 8th of March, which will be the last show, and this doesn't go any further, because if it really goes on this tour that he's the Julia Nitzberg, who's the director and writer, if it really goes global, it's going to hurt a lot. It's going to hurt MJ's career even more, and I'm just not sure if we are going to be able to fix it.
And right now, like, we're trying to help repair the damage that's been done. There's so many different people doing so too. Like, so many different podcast fans. There are people out there that are fighting for MJ's legacy. But as we're all fighting for it, they're trying to tear it down as quick as we're fighting. And at the same time, they're calling all of us who fight for his legacy crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're calling us crazy for doing what's right.
Yeah, Brandy tweeted about that too. Since we're talking about the family and the ones that we thought were quiet, I thought always that, Tosh Jackson and Brandy Jackson were like the quiet ones.
Yeah.
Because at the time that Square One was coming out, they were really active, and at a certain point they got, like, they just kind of stepped back and kind of vanished a little bit in the background, but they're really stepping up, and they're talking like, like real people. Like, if they don't like anything they're reading or hearing or what people are saying, they're stepping up, and they're showing their emotions, and I think it's cool that they're doing that. Because Brandy, since the whole Kobe Bryant, rest his soul, happened with the Gayle King thing and her bringing up his allegations and everything.
Yeah.
She actually put it on her Instagram story. She posted that people, after the Leaving Neverland, well, Michael Jackson's fans, they call us crazy since, day one. It doesn't even matter if you're a believer or not. We're just crazy. MJ fans are just crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crazy people. We're making all of this stuff. We're making it up. It's not even happening. We're making it up. you know? So she was kind of saying, well, if you guys think MJ's fans are crazy, what do you think about Kobe Bryant's fans? Are they crazy too? Because they're defending him?
Wrong is wrong.
Because, like, everybody who's defending... Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even matter.
It really doesn't matter. Like, the timing for what Gayle King had did, and I don't want to disrespect her because I know what I had said on Twitter maybe about a week ago where it was blatantly disrespectful, but I have to remember also she is my elder. She's almost 70 years old. So I would expect her as an elder to have an opinion, but she had given that opinion at the wrong time. The world is pretty much grieving the loss of Kobe Bryant. He had a lot of fans around the world who definitely rode for him heavy. And it's just blatantly disrespectful, not even just to him. They're not even just grieving the loss of just him. But it hurts even more that they loved him that much. His daughter also was with him, and then there were 7 other people that were with him. So it's like bringing that up, knowing that all of those people just passed, is like a slap in the face to all of them dying alongside him.
Yes. Totally disrespectful.
I'm not saying Gayle King can't have an opinion, but it's about having the right timing to give your opinion. How are you giving your opinion on something that is alleged? Literally directly after a person passes away, knowing that they're famous and they have a fan base. Most celebrities who do have a fan base will gladly attack the media who disrespects them, whether they're alive or deceased. That's just the way fan bases are.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because they're crazy.
Exactly. I mean, it was just the wrong timing. I agree. I mean, it wasn't even a week since we heard about the Kobe Bryant crash when Gayle King stated when she posted about it.
Yeah.
So it was just very wrong timing, and I do get Snoop Dogg's his anger because he was friends with Kobe Bryant and his family and everything. So I do understand why he got that upset and why he spoke up about it. He apologized because maybe he got hot-headed and he was hurting as well because he lost a friend. But that's what you get. I mean, you're a public person, and when you run your mouth like that without even thinking twice about where you're posting or what you're saying, you can expect backlash from it. I mean, it's the same thing that works with us. I mean, we're quote-unquote public persons a little bit, and sometimes we get trashed, other times we get attacked, other times we are loved. It's the same thing.
Right. It's too funny though.
But you do have to think. Yeah, but you do have to think a little bit and have a little bit of respect. It's too much.
Like, I feel like at the time she wasn't showing any compassion, and what she did was pin everything on CBS and make it look as if CBS was all the blame for what she said. They direct you where to go when it comes to giving your, per se, news puff for the local news, which is what she is here in New York. Local news. But of course, her being who she is and being Oprah's friend, it goes viral. So she knows, and she should expect that it's going to go viral just because of who she is, based upon who she knows. And the fact that she knows Oprah and the flute. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I just heard the flute. That's my little buddy. Oh, man. But yeah, like, her timing was totally off, and it was just disrespectful to his family. I'm not disrespecting her, being that she is a lot older. She's almost 70 years old. She looks damn good for her age, so I had no clue. Because I'm like, wait, she can't be as old as Oprah. But then I'm like, wait, she has to be if they're best friends. So I looked and Googled her age, and I was like, oh my God, she's like 66 years old. So she looks good for her age. I thought she was maybe in her early 50s, maybe late 40s or something. No. But yeah, like, also, I'm not going to deny Gayle King could have had her opinion, but she should have did it at a later date. The girl did it at the wrong time, and she knows that the world is grieving this loss. She did it at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Somebody said
And to
LOL.
apologize after is no good because the damage has already been done, you know?
Somebody did ask wow, Maya asked who's playing the flute in the background.
I told her it's my son. I'm so sorry.
That is so funny. Well, at least we were being serenaded and had some background music because it is a little quiet. Oh man, that's crazy though. But yeah, like it's been so much that's been going on that it's kind of hard to shake. When are they gonna really start respecting people in life and in death? Because it seems like there's no matter of respect for anyone at all. They don't care what they say or do to someone, how they can hurt them, their loved ones. And then imagine what Kobe's wife is going through, his wife Vanessa.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what her mindset is, knowing that she's going home every night to her bed empty, looking in her daughter's room and seeing her daughter empty. What about the kids that were surrounded by her daughter who played basketball with her daughter at school? To go there every day to see that her seat is empty. Like, Gayle King didn't think about that. And neither did Oprah, because otherwise she wouldn't have went on, what was it, the Today Show? And she wouldn't have got on there and started crying and defending Gayle. No, you should have said that maybe my friend at this moment spoke at the wrong time. Just admit her faults. Don't defend it.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what Oprah did. All she did was defend it and cry for her as if she was in the right. But she wasn't. Saying, no, she was doing her job. No, she went way beyond her job because they tell you, per se, how to go about it, script-wise, but you have also the right to ad-lib, and you didn't have to say directly what they put. Because if you notice on every news network, despite they say similar things, as I showed in that Operation Mockingbird video, they said the same stuff, but they said it in a different manner to not be so disrespectful. She could have changed the way she actually said it, even if she did want to bring it up. But apparently she's used to being cold when it comes to these sorts of stories, so she kept her emotions and on her shoulder and just a chip on her shoulder altogether where she felt the need to speak the way she spoke. And it was out of line.
Yeah, but I mean, why? Yeah, but why bring it up now? I mean, everybody knows it. Everybody knows what happened. You know, even if it's in general lines, everybody knows what happened with the allegations that it got settled. Everything was kind of like blown over. Why does she have to go there after this man died? I mean, that's just wrong. That's just having no heart, no soul, no feelings. I mean, she's a mother, she's a grandmother. I bet she's a wife, she's a sister. She has a mother too. I mean, how would she feel if people would do that to her? They don't put themselves in other people's situations. They just think of, oh, I have a schedule to follow, and I have to say this and this and this, and I'm being controlled by the cameras. And if I don't say this, and if I don't say it at this time, I'm not going to get my paycheck at the end of the month. But that's not how life works. I'm sorry, but that's just not the way things work. It's not ethical. Well, I feel it's not ethical.
It isn't ethical at all. They never consider anyone's feelings but their own and then try to blame the camera or, per se, the news network when it's not just the news network, it's you too, because you have a mind to speak up against any other thing, but yet you didn't want to open your mouth this time around and say, no, I'm not saying this.
Mm-hmm. Why didn't anybody else did it?
Exactly.
No other reporter started about the allegation. She was the only one.
And this is...
I mean, it's... come on, give me a break.
This is one thing that I didn't want to say, being that I also am black just like Gayle. And I honestly feel that, no lie, and this might be wrong for me to say, but I feel that her and Oprah are being used in an agenda to bring down black celebrities who are accused of false crimes.
Maybe just black males Period.
Yeah. Because it's easier to... I know it. I see what they're doing because I notice how it is. Like, in the black community, they generally expect that we speak on our own people. So what they do is use Oprah and Gayle to speak on black people, so it cushions the blow on what the media is trying to put out there against them. And they figure putting them out there to speak about it would cushion the blow, but at the same time, they don't realize that it's going to cause a lot of backlash. So they figure using these black reporters and black media outlets would cushion the blow to black people when they actually put this stuff out against these black male actors, athletes, and other things. They expect that we don't feel any sort of way, but it's no different because in the long run, we're fans of a lot of these people that they're disrespecting. Some of us have grown to love some of these people like our own family. You may have never met a lot of these people, just like with MJ for that example. We love him like he's our own damn family. And some of us have never met him a day in our lives, but we will always forever treat him like we've known him personally forever. Forever. Yeah, like... That's the way it's always been. And no one can say that fans are actually crazy for adopting or adapting to the way they feel, about some of their favorite celebrities or favorite singers or athletes. It's not their fault. There's no changing the fact that you actually feel or learn to care for these people through their art and what they do. But the moral of the story is...
And it still doesn't change the fact that they're wrong for doing it.
Yeah, it's true. Like, the moral of the story for me is, think before you act, because it's going to hurt maybe one person, or it may hurt millions, and then look what happens. Backlash like what Gayle King got. I wouldn't want to be on the end of that.
Me either.
At all. I would not want to be on the end of that at all. But guys, do you have any... Huh?
The worst part of this was that it doesn't affect them. It doesn't affect their careers. It doesn't affect them in their personal lives. They just go on. I said it. I said I'm sorry, and that's it. It blows over and it's done.
That's crazy, though. There is never going to be another situation like this in the future, hopefully. Hopefully now, Gayle King and her friend Oprah will think about it before they put out these stories. Not even just about black celebrities, but people in general, with especially things regarding sexual abuse, accusations like that. Like, that's a definite touchy subject. And they need to think wisely before putting something up about that. I understand what Oprah been through. I know her story. She's a victim herself. I myself have been a victim, so I know exactly all about it. But however, I like to do my research before I involve myself in anything of that nature. I would not put myself in harm's way because in the long run, they may call all fans crazy, but not all of us are crazy, but there are the crazy fans that will go upside your head for one of their favorite celebrities.
Oh, yeah.
They will go right upside your head.
Look at what happened to your other mamacita.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got killed.
Yeah. And from one of her fans.
Crazy fan.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It is. And it's scary.
But do you guys have any questions for us before we wrap up this podcast for the night? Oh, what's going on? Nobody has anything for us?
Well, there was a question from someone. I saw it somewhere. Something about that they don't care about us. If you figured out what the meaning was.
Yeah. I can't scroll all the way back. I'm trying to scroll all the way back, but it only let me scroll back so far. Yeah, it's not letting me scroll back. I can't even go back to it. It sucks. But anyways, we will be seeing you guys come next week for episode 3. We're sorry for the delay today. Hopefully we can have this fixed come next week for us to be back up on YouTube. But if not, we will be doing this here every week on Facebook. It's all good. But anyways, Dove Angel, you have anything else to drop on these viewers?
No, I just want to say thank you for bearing with us. It was so unexpected, and this little thing that we're doing, that it keeps growing, and that you stick with us, and share, help us grow, and say family, please.
Plant the seed, water the plant, and help us grow. But thank you guys for actually being here with us tonight. It started out with 9, but it's 6 of you now, but it's all good because I didn't even expect that many on Facebook. So, thank you for tuning in, guys. But much love to you guys. And just Mr. P and Dove Angel D will be seeing you next week for episode 3. Oh, wow, that rhymed. Again. But all right, guys. Bye-bye. Take care.